Hello trucker family, this is Kevin with the trucker side. As you well know, our team is always on the trucker side. We're always on your side here, trying to make your career better, your business more successful, and just sharing our knowledge out in the community. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that already, and share it with other interested people that might want to get good information out of this. Today's video, I'm going to talk about the options you have for financing when you're trying to buy a truck, when you're trying to get in business on your own as a lease operator or owner operator. And there's really not that many options, but make sure you stick all the way to the end so you can get all the information you need. The most common options you'll have, of course, besides cash, which always works, cash will always work for anybody, but it is a big amount to just go ahead and purchase a truck cash. So if you're trying to finance it, then the most common options you have will be either going through a bank, like a local bank, or a credit union, or just finance it directly through the manufacturer. So we're going to cover each and every one of these, so make sure you follow all the way to the end to understand the ins and outs. We're going to start off with the local bank. The local bank, or any commercial friendly bank, pretty much there's a handful of them around the country that will finance equipment like that. They're gonna probably charge a little higher interest than a credit union, so make sure you keep that in mind, because on the long run it's gonna make a difference. And they're gonna want a little higher down payment, generally anywhere between 20 to 25%. Now they do have a fairly simple process. That's one of the pros, because they do this on a regular, and they are familiar with specs, they are familiar with the process. It's not like bringing something new to them, if that makes sense. But in the overall efficiency of it, like I said, the interest rate is a little higher than a credit union, and the down payment is a little higher. On the credit union, on the other hand, you're probably gonna have anywhere between 7 to 10% interest. They're gonna want 15 to 20% down rather than 20 to 25, and it's the best option you have. Going with a credit union, in my opinion, is the best option you have. You do have to be a member, and the process might take a little longer, but the payment on the truck is going to be a long-term commitment. So I would say do not rush into it. Just take it one step at a time, because at the end of the day you want to make sure you make the right decision, because that's what's going to bring you success or not. So consider that carefully. Lastly, the manufacturer financing. This might be the easiest one if your credit score is not the best. However, I do recommend everybody, if your credit score is not the best, work on your credit score first, because you don't only need it when you purchase the truck. You're also going to need your credit score if you want to access other lines of credit, other lines of repairs with different shops, with different vendors. I don't want to name them here because the point of the video is not to advertise them. But there are big national repair shops that can service you anytime, anywhere in the country. You want to make sure you can get set up with those, so having a good credit score is an essential thing. We'll make another video about it. I don't want to get too deep into it. Bottom point was, if you don't have a very good credit score and you want to get into a truck, then the manufacturer financing might be a good option for you. It's going to have a higher interest rate. It's going to have a lower down payment, just because they are trying to get that equipment on the road. They understand the dynamics of the business and so on and so forth. But also you need to understand the fact that that's going to be a longer term commitment, and it's going to cost a little more because of the lower down payment. So you want to make sure you weigh that in when you make your decision. To sum that up, you want to make sure that you go with a decision that works best for you, because you're going to have to deal with this payment monthly for quite some years. So you want to make sure you're comfortable where you're at and you made the right decision. Like I said, the better your credit score, the better of a deal that you're going to get. So I do always recommend, if you're in a bad spot with your credit score, consider taking a step back and maybe starting your venture a little later, because otherwise, if you get in a bad deal just because you want to do it right now and your credit score is bad, that deal is going to end up following you every step of your career, and you are going to regret that. Trucking is tough enough as it is. You want to make sure that every decision you make is the right one, because otherwise you're going to make your life more complicated than it has to be. Generally speaking, on the amount of time on the loan, I would say the sweet spot is between 4 to 5 years. You might find financing that will give you 7 to 8, but your truck is going to depreciate a whole lot, your truck is going to get in bad shape. So you don't want to end up in that situation where you have a lot of maintenance to catch up with, you have major repairs every so often, you have small repairs every here and there, mostly every week, and then you also have a truck note. So don't push that loan more than you have to. Try and find a good balance, try and find a sweet spot where you pay it off in 4 or 5 years, and even if you keep using it afterwards, at least you'll only have maintenance rather than having maintenance and the truck note on top of it. You can find a lot of payment calculators online. Play with those, play with your options, fill out some applications maybe just to get an idea on where you're at, where you're situated, and what you need to work on in order to get in a better position if that's the case, or if not, just pull the trigger on it. Let us know if you have any questions. We're always on the trucker side. We'll always share our best advice with you guys. That's why we're here. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Send us an email. Again, this is Kevin. Our team is always on the trucker side. Thank you guys for watching.